Welcome back. Well, it was a record breaker today. Not so much because it was 100 degrees this afternoon, because we started it out at 82 degrees this morning, which beat 81, set way back in 2023, last year. Let's get over to the key wall. You can see the normals are 93 and 75. A while back, some 30 years ago, they used to be 92 and 73, so those numbers have come up as well. 102, the record on this date, back in 2023, when we set probably about 50, 60, 70 records, especially overnight lows. But we may challenge the record overnight low for tomorrow morning, which was 81 degrees, also set back last year. So we'll see how that plays out. Ridge of high pressure dominating. We have a smaller ridge down in the Gulf, but this one not quite as strong as what we saw last August. But you can see the dry air, and we have a northerly flow aloft and northerly winds where we almost always get into the upper 90s to low 100s, and that's the forecast as we move forward. Again, we see Debbie off to the right and close to home. It's been quiet. Just see showers popping up in the coastal marshes in this type of pattern, and that's what we saw today. We see a couple of showers down across extreme southeast Louisiana, and in Power Doppler 3 range, we're picking up on a shower, giving our friends down in Cameron a nice little shower here to help cool things off a little bit, coming off the big lake and slowly moving. So a nice shower there. The rest of us high and dry. Farther to the east we go. We see Tropical Storm Debbie, now the center back out over open water, and what we'll be watching is these the rain bands working their way back in, still producing heavy rainfall for portions of South Carolina, North Carolina, but things have abated a little bit tonight. Areas just back to the west where it's been persistent. This is where we're probably going to see some flooding in the near term, going into Georgia as well. But not our problem at this point. We look out in the Atlantic Basin. We really don't see a whole lot of trouble. We see a couple of little waves down here in the intertropical convergence zone, but down here by the equatorial regions, you don't get spin. It's hard to generate anything that's going to spin up. That's mainly for the lack of Coriolis force. Look it up. I'm not even going to get into that. You got to get just north of the equator by a good 5-10 degrees. Meanwhile, this tropical wave that we've been watching looked a little bit better this evening. It's moving quickly to the west, looks like towards Central America, and it's looking pretty dubious on whether this is going to develop or not. And if anything, I think Hurricane Center may move this cone a little bit further southward. So no concerns with that system. And here we have Debbie still churning away, now back out in the open waters, but it's going to be slow to develop. If we had a tight center, it would develop quickly, but it may get up to 50 mile per hour winds, move back inland, and then produce rain issues all the way up through New England down the line. For us, it's just plain old hot. Temperatures getting back into the upper 90s tomorrow. Rain chances no better than about 5% or so, and much the same could be said for Thursday. Notice the pressure gradient right here. There's a little bit of a ridge of high pressure that's going to try to build in as we head into Friday, Saturday, and that may cool us a little bit back down into the upper 90s. And I might see lows get below the 80-degree mark, so there's something to look forward to. Upper 90s to low 100s for the northern parishes of Acadiana, same along the I-10 corridor. 101 also in the Baton Rouge area for tomorrow. Upper 90s along the coast, a little bit cooler by the water in Cameron, if you want to call 94 degrees cool. Again, heat index up there. We have the heat advisory. Heat indices getting over 100 by about 9:30 in the morning and staying above 100 until about 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. So when it's flat like this is a day, if you're an outdoor worker, take plenty of breaks, get in some AC, turn on the car, put the AC on. It really takes a lot out of your hide when it's that hot out there and the sun is blazing, which we will continue to see. So 81 the overnight low tonight, so we may see a record once again, touch cooler in the rural areas where you'll see upper 70s for your low. And then for tomorrow, we're going to go for 101. If we did 100 today, 101 looks to be a good call tomorrow. That heat index up to 108 to 111 or 12. A little bit of a northwest wind, but not much, at about 4 to 8. A little bit more than maybe what we saw today. 100 again on Thursday. Here's that cooling effect. Upper 90s this weekend, but we still might see the century mark. Trying to forecast these heat wave and 100-degree days awfully hard this time of year. And then next week, hopefully the risk of a few afternoon storms, but notice those daytime highs staying mostly in the upper 90s. That's it for weather for now. We'll have more a little bit later on.